Regarded as American royalty, he was best known as John or JFK Jr., the son of the 35th President, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. This week marks 25 years since the plane he was piloting crashed, ending 3 lives and stunning America.
Chief Transportation Correspondent and pilot Mackay Beeler covering the accident back in 1999, joining us now to revisit this tragedy. I can't believe it's been that long.
I can't either. Yeah, still makes me sad. Yeah, so born just 2 weeks after his father was elected president, John spent his early years in the White House until his dad was assassinated in 1963. He spent his entire life in the public eye. JFK Jr. grew up to be America's most eligible bachelor until he married sweetheart Caroline Bessette. He was an accomplished lawyer, journalist, and publisher, but it was his love of aviation that defined his life. Well, JFK Jr. wanted to become a pilot since he was a child. He earned his private pilot's license in 1998. But just over a year later, he would die at the flight controls of his personal Piper plane in a crash that also took the lives of his wife Caroline, and sister-in-law Lauren Bessette. He had checked in with the control tower at Martha's Vineyard to land, but the trio never arrived. Aircraft debris was found at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean with all 3 occupants still strapped in their seats. Autopsies determined all died on impact.
And what were the factors that contributed to that crash?
You know, there were so many. They were flying to a wedding. So they were going to stop off at Martha's Vineyard the night before. The wedding was the next day, but they were running late. So this is a stressor. Pilots sometimes get their itis. They were running late. I think the sister-in-law was running late. Also, John and his wife Caroline had been arguing. So the stress of marital woes. John was in a cast. He had flown in a cast before, lay cast, usually with a flight instructor. Now, he was qualified to fly by himself as a private pilot, but at the time he'd really been flying with a flight instructor and practicing instrument flying so that you could just look at your instruments and not look outside. So running late, the stress of that, arguing with his wife. Now it's dark when they leave New Jersey. And it's a hazy summer day. By the time he gets to Martha's Vineyard, he has to fly out over the water. Well, it's hard in the haze and at night to see where the water ends and the horizon starts, and it's easy to get disoriented. And he entered a spiral dive and crashed into the water.
Oh my gosh. What did the NTSB, what was
so they called it pilot error, Kennedy's failure to maintain control of the airplane during a descent over water at night, which was a result of spatial disorientation. And that means can't really tell what's up or down because of illusion on the horizon. Yeah, so very sad. Now of interest, his cousin was Robert Kennedy Jr., who's running for president right now. All right, and both of their dads were assassinated. Robert Kennedy was assassinated when he was running for president. John Kennedy was assassinated as president, and people wonder, had John or JFK Jr. lived, would he be running for president? So we'll never know. He was impossibly handsome.
Yeah,
impossibly
as you mentioned,
handsome.
Yeah, he was definitely the guy, the bachelor of the era.
But it stunned America.
Yeah, it did.
And thank God his mother had died earlier, because Jackie was always afraid of him flying. So she wasn't there for the trauma.